specifically and then the program as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, he's a friend at this point. I mean, we've spent so much time together, built that relationship, and just a tremendous amount of trust in him and his leadership, and just what he's done all year in terms of, again, at times it being a difficult year. These last 2 years, dealing with a lot of distractions, and he's been rock solid through it, and just a guy that I could rely on in the locker room, and keeping everybody together. And he's just someone that embraces doing things that other guys don't always want to do. So it's unique to have a guy that plays as hard as he does, the commitment to doing all the dirty work and things that help you win, and so he's about that, and so it's been special to have the opportunity to coach him.
Was it hard after the first Washington State game, going through the COVID pauses, to see a time when you guys would hit this point where you were playing your best basketball?
Yes, it was. It felt in a lot of ways like last year all over again. A lot this season. Even though this group has been an absolute joy to be around and coach. Like, I mean, the way they practice, their attitude, unselfishness. It's been. Even though it has not, the record has been tough. We went through some tough stretches, and we've had all the documented stoppages and everything. It's just the group has stayed together, and they believe in each other, and they're competing. A lot of times this year, you'll see teams that just can't wait for the season to be over, and I just don't get that sense in any shape or form with this team.
Is that what you're talking about there? After last season and some of the comments that you made, and then the way that who you chose to go and try to recruit, bring into your program, does it feel validating that you identified the right types of guys?
In a sense, yeah. I wish, again, it's a results business, and the record, could be different if a few things broke our way differently, and in terms of things that have happened to us this year. But just again, appreciating how these guys work every day, and I said it in the summer. They like each other, so they play for each other. So it's enjoyable to be with people that embrace the team concept, and playing the win, and playing unselfishly, and playing defense. Like, this team guarded all year. I mean, we had our limitations and struggles on offense throughout the year, but they've given me everything they had at that end of the court.
When you look at where this team was, how was it something you said or did or somebody else that to get them to stay the course and kind of see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel when it looked like maybe there was none?
Yeah, I mean, we had setbacks where you miss weeks at a time, which is you can't get that back. So, we were losing some of those games coming out of situations where we weren't in a consistent routine. So I think it's been just the byproduct of us consistently being able to play basketball and practice, and play in these games. And then we had the stretch where we were really tested. It was where you're playing the top of the league just about every game. So it kind of took our performance level to a different place, just playing that type of competition. And you either melt and fall apart in that storm that you're in, or you figure out a way to get better. And I think that we have. And I think all the adversities have put us in a position where we're playing good basketball right now.
Can you single out one game as a turning point, do you think, when you look back at kind of the last couple months?
I would say our first Stanford game, just based on how that went down, and just what could have happened if we didn't handle things the right way at that point. And it just shows, the guts and the determination that the group has, that we did, stay together. And, we realized that was a winning game that, didn't go our way, and we had some things we had to deal with after. But I thought that one was one where we showed a lot more resilience after that.
A couple games left in the season, Pac-12 tournament quickly approaching. Does the message change to your guys in the locker room, or does it stay the same as it has all season long, or what does that look like for you from your perspective?
I mean, we're looking at it we got a Cal team coming in that's again is a really good defensive team. Just held Stanford to 39 points. So That's where our focus is. But our messaging over the last 10 days to 2 weeks has been like, if you win and you keep winning, it's going to be harder for you to lose when your season's on the line. If you just keep finding ways to win, and that's what you expect to do, then when our season is again on the line, I like our chances, because that's the expectation, because we just been doing it over and over. And I think it's we had a few games that I think helped us. The Colorado game, to see us be that explosive on offense and kind of coast to a victory. And then the Utah game, getting that double-digit lead and then losing it, and having some bad turnovers and not handling their pressure well. And then so that's another learning experience where you're figuring out a way to win a little bit differently. So I think all these things are helpful late in the season to get us ready for that.
Going back to Kamani, he had that setback as a freshman with his foot, and then it seemed like he went through a stretch where he didn't have the type of confidence that he now has demonstrated on a regular basis. What's it been like seeing him kind of go through that whole process?
Yeah, I admire him, because it's not an easy thing to go through. What happened with his with his shooting mechanics, and it's he's had to adjust his game to really I wouldn't say hide one major skill that he doesn't really use, but he's been able to be super effective without being able to shoot the basketball outside of 15 feet. So rarely can you see anybody overcome that. So he's he values other things, and he's not focused on that, and he's able to to help us win games.
Can you talk a little bit about Jay Heath and kind of the clutch shots he's knocked down here in the last stretch?
He's been super. He's really given us a lift, and I he seems to be really comfortable out there, and he's getting to the basket, he's hitting the three, he's getting out in the open court, and he's sneaky, one of our best defenders too. Like, he's been getting the assignments of some of the the tougher matchups on the perimeter, and he's embraced that as well. So he's really playing well. I thought he had as good a week as anybody in the conference. If you just look at what we did in the mountains, but. More than just Jay, I think it was, even in the Colorado game, just our balance and the way multiple guys at different stages in that game took over is what you really need to win big. And I think that was something that was impressive that we've been hoping to see. Within one game, could we get 3, 4, 5 guys playing well in the offensive end? And I think that makes us better.
Bobby, to see the performance Thursday night and to just control the game against Colorado, and then see that team turn around and beat Arizona, see the top 6 teams in the AP poll lose, and know that you beat UCLA, you have a sweep over Oregon. How much does that kind of instill belief that you can do something special in Vegas next weekend?
I think the guys know that we're capable of playing at the highest level in our league, and we've seen the best teams, and we've been able to be super competitive or win in those games, and we are playing the best we played all year, and that's not going to guarantee us anything next week. So we'll have to finish this week as best as we can and get ready for it. But I certainly have confidence going into any game that we would play next week.
I'm sure you haven't been asked this question at all about Coach K, his career coming to an end here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just you feel old. That's the first thing you think about is yourself, and then just knowing that he's not going to be there. It's always been such a constant in my life. Just he's such a fixture there, and I don't know. Some of your identity is based on being there with him and seeing him coach and hoping they do well, and then for him to not be there again is it's going to be a little weird. Just not having him there, but certainly he's had one of the best careers anyone could have, and certainly has earned his retirement.
How often do you try to catch them on TV or DVR, anything that they do? How often do you watch them?
I've probably seen a handful of games this year, and it's just with our schedules being so busy and days kind of overlapping, it's tougher, but. Definitely going to have that one taped for Saturday, and it's going to be tough to watch him. I know it's going to be very emotional. I'll probably think about a lot of the great moments that I had with him.
When you see what Jalen Graham has
Yeah, he's just really comfortable there, and he's got terrific footwork and touch and feel for the game, and he's going to have to realize that defenses are going to start loading up even more to him, and you're seeing that with the amount of times he's getting doubled now, and so certainly teams are taking notice of how effective he is in those positions, and us as a coaching staff are going to have to be a little more creative to find new actions to get him there, so that teams are not able to deny, because when he does that, and we have the shooting that we have on the perimeter, the court could be open, and he's a pretty good passer too. So just like where Jalen's at, and he had an awesome practice today. I mean, we had as good a practice as we've had all season today. I actually stopped it early because I just didn't want anyone to get hurt, and he was a big part of that today.
When you go through something that you went through earlier this season, is it hard to know which buttons to push as a coach, whether to really get after them or to kind of pull back, to sit down across with them, or I mean, how did you handle that, and just how do you think of as a way you handle that?
Well, I just knew we were getting better, and we had been through a lot, and it was tough for everybody, and there were guys struggling, we were struggling to find our identity. I think Jalen Graham, when he, right after the Cal game, he really turned the corner and made us different, and our players have trusted him, and other guys have improved as well. Like Luther Muhammad has turned his season around the last 3 of the last 4 games. He's been excellent. So we have people playing better. So there's a better vibe. There's a confidence about what we're doing, and guys believe that we could do something special. So it's hard to say about one singular thing. It's just like you got to have determination, and you got to believe that things will start turning for you. And we knew we were getting close. And in some of these games, like the USC game at home, where we're tied with a minute left, and these are all like top teams. So you're knocking on the door. It's just what additional little thing can you do? Can you do one more thing? Could everyone commit to doing one more thing that could really put us over the top? And I think we started to do that the last couple of weeks.
What has allowed for so much success coming out of halftime breaks and there's been, I think both Colorado and Utah is over 50% shooting in the second halves, and just more effective offense once you kind of make adjustments and get a break at halftime?
I think it's a mindset thing to a large degree. Of course, you're gonna make adjustments. You're gonna watch a half and have a feel for who's going good, and you want to try and get the ball to those guys early to continue to build your lead. But I think we learned some hard lessons. The way we started Arizona here, and even Washington, both halves. At that game, you kind of you say, look, we can't come out like that, and then we committed more to being more prepared to start those halves, and we've done that better at both Washington State, at UCLA, and then the last 2 Mountain games. So we've been a better team to start the second half as of late.
How do you feel about how your guys' just offensive versatility has developed in terms of the ways that you can win and who can be sort of that key guy from the perimeter or the interior, and how valuable is that at this point in the season?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why you could survive, a game like, DJ Horn, having a stomach flu and not being able to go in Utah, and still, being pretty efficient at that end of the floor. I think we end up shooting 48 or 49 for the game, and because you have other guys that are stepping up, and I think the guys trust each other, and we're taking the right shots that everyone expects to take, and we're playing through our front court. It's not. Everyone has ownership in this. It's the guys are really sharing the ball well and playing together.